The story begins with introducing a tough-looking guy named Daniel, who works at an electronics store. One morning, while Daniel was struggling to replace the display video on a TV, his co-worker Stefan, who was an electronics expert and the store's top employee, came to help. However, after replacing the video, they got into a fight due to differing opinions. Luckily, their store manager intervened and reprimanded them. Later that evening, after work, Daniel and his older sister Lawrence were called to a notary's office to handle the inheritance of their late mother's house. The notary explained that the house had an outstanding tax debt of 17,000 euros, and if it wasn't paid soon, the house would be seized by the tax authorities. Since neither of them had the money, Lawrence suggested selling the house. Daniel reluctantly agreed. The next day, during a briefing, the store manager, Patricia, announced that the store would be closing the following month. Permanent employees like Stefan would be transferred to another store, while Daniel, a contract employee, would be laid off. Hearing this, they were shocked. During the briefing, Patricia punished Daniel and Stefan for being noisy, assigning them to work overtime to manage inventory that night. That night, while working, Daniel casually watched a TV price-guessing game show. When the show started, Stefan reflexively joined in, guessing the prices accurately, not just once, but repeatedly. Daniel tested Stefan's ability and was convinced that they could win if they worked together. Since Daniel needed the money, he asked Stefan to participate in the show, but Stefan refused, preferring to focus on his job to get promoted. Despite the refusal, Daniel registered their names on the show's website without Stefan's consent. A few days later, Daniel received a call from the show's staff, informing them that they had been selected and needed to come in for an interview at 3 p.m. Daniel then made a plan to force Stefan to come along. The plan began. Daniel went to the shop where they worked and stole a cell phone and put it in their locker. The next day, Daniel and Stefan were called to the manager's office. Daniel's plan succeeded, as they were both accused of theft and fired on the spot. Stefan protested angrily, but Daniel headbutted him to calm him down, and Stefan fainted. Daniel took Stefan to his car and explained the situation when Stefan regained consciousness. Daniel told him about the game show interview, and despite initial resistance, Stefan eventually agreed to participate after learning that his father was about to be kicked out of a nursing home due to unpaid fees of 5,000 euros. With the prospect of getting the money, Stefan finally agreed to participate in the price-guessing game show with Daniel. When they arrived at the TV station for the interview, the producer, Blaise, asked them to introduce themselves. During the introduction, Daniel and Stefan couldn't get along and started arguing again. However, Blaise was intrigued by their behavior and told them to come back for filming the next morning, believing their antics would entertain the audience. Daniel and Stefan were thrilled. The next day, during the price-guessing game show, Daniel was the first to perform while Stefan waited in the audience. Before the show started, the host, Fred, asked one of the contestants to sing to liven up the atmosphere. The audience cheered for Daniel to sing due to his intimidating appearance.
Chanter tout le temps, pouvoir dire je t'aime, pour les gens qui sont seuls, chanter.
But to everyone's surprise, Daniel had a great voice. The show began, and Daniel accurately guessed the prices with Stefan's help from the audience. Daniel advanced to the next round and continued to guess correctly, winning 10,000 euros. Instead of stopping, Daniel chose to continue to the next round to win more money. Blaise decided to make the show more interesting by calling Stefan to join Daniel. When they appeared together, they constantly debated, leaving everyone stunned. Fred explained that the next round was a guessing game where Daniel would give clues, and Stefan would guess without seeing the object. Despite Daniel's efforts, their answers were initially incorrect, but they eventually got one right. Unfortunately, due to time running out, their answer was deemed invalid, and they lost all their winnings. After the show, Daniel and Stefan protested to Fred, who smugly told them that the game was intentionally made difficult to avoid giving away large sums of money easily. Daniel became frustrated and punched Fred, leading to them being kicked out. Back at Stefan's house, they discussed their next plan. Stefan suggested participating in a singing competition, Sing a Song, with Daniel as the singer and Stefan as the manager. Daniel was initially hesitant due to his lack of confidence in singing in front of a large audience, but Stefan convinced him to try. The next day, while making a video clip for registration, Lawrence arrived and informed Daniel that the inherited house would be sold soon. He asked Daniel to sign the sales agreement, but Daniel refused, having changed his mind after gaining confidence in his singing abilities. Daniel declared that he would become a successful singer and wouldn't need to sell the house, and he would take care of the tax debt. A few days later, the video clip was finally finished. Daniel and Stefan went to the TV station to register for the Sing a Song show. From a distance, Blaise, who was curious, gathered all the staff to watch the video clip.
Devant mon café noir, bientôt je serai celui de 13 heures.
After watching it, everyone applauded and praised their work. Nervously, Daniel asked, "When can I start participating in the Sing a Song show?" Blaise simply replied, "We'll let you know." Hearing this, they were thrilled. That night, Daniel and Stefan hung out at a cafe. Stefan casually uploaded the video clip to YouTube saying, "If it goes viral, Daniel will have to be ready to become a famous person." During their conversation, they coincidentally saw Patricia. Still upset about being fired, Stefan approached her and vented his frustration by damaging a car in the parking lot. However, he mistakenly damaged the wrong car, leading to the owner getting angry and retaliating by damaging Daniel's car. Days passed, and since Daniel hadn't been called for the show, he was forced to sell his car to make ends meet. After getting the money, Daniel walked to Stefan's house. When he arrived, he was confused by Stefan's childish ninja-like behavior. Stefan explained that instead of waiting for an uncertain show, he was trying to participate in Ninja Warrior. However, he kept slipping and falling into the pool during practice. While holding back pain, Stefan shared that his father was no longer living in the nursing home and that their finances were dwindling. Instead of offering support, Daniel started complaining about his own struggles, and they began arguing about who had it worse. Meanwhile, at the TV station, Blaise was struggling to find participants for the Sing a Song show when his staff informed him that Daniel's video clip had gone viral on YouTube. Blaise was surprised, not expecting a video like that to become popular. Seeing potential benefits, Blaise instructed his staff to invite Daniel. The next day, after receiving the invitation, Daniel and Stefan enthusiastically rode an electric scooter to the location. Before the show started, Daniel was briefed by the staff. He would be duet with another participant, and if they won, they would advance to the next round, which was the Guess the Lyrics round. While Stefan was wandering around, he accidentally overheard Blaise and Fred discussing Daniel. When he realized they only wanted to use Daniel to boost ratings, Stefan was shocked. He secretly followed Blaise to the control room. On stage, after the show started, Fred called Daniel to perform. With confidence, Daniel stepped onto the stage and sang with his golden voice. After finishing, the judges evaluated, and Daniel won, advancing to the next round. Fred offered a choice between guessing 2 to 20 words. Since Daniel desperately needed the money, he immediately chose to guess 20 words with a prize of 20,000 euros. The music started and the lyrics appeared on the big screen. Daniel focused and concentrated, wanting to win the prize to help his family's finances. In the end, Daniel guessed all the lyrics correctly. In the control room, Blaise was thrilled, seeing the ratings increase thanks to Daniel. Stefan, who had been eavesdropping, approached Daniel and tried to tell him the truth, but Daniel didn't believe him, thinking Stefan was just jealous. During the argument, Daniel accidentally revealed that Stefan was always being taken advantage of by others. Daniel finally confessed that he had actually framed Stefan for theft, getting him fired from the store, just so he would join him in the price-guessing game show. However, he claimed it was all for Stefan's own good, as working at the electronics store would only lead to Patricia taking advantage of him without any chance of promotion. Stefan was shocked and left without saying a word. Months later, Daniel had become a famous artist with a complete 180-degree transformation in his appearance, including tattoos and a more stylish look. One morning, Daniel had just paid off the tax debt on his inherited house. After finishing the payment, Lawrence reminded him not to forget Stefan. "Don't be ungrateful. Without Stefan, you wouldn't be where you are today." Daniel fell silent, reflecting on this. In the afternoon, after a long time, Daniel finally visited Stefan's house to make amends. When they met, Daniel awkwardly explained that he now had many offers for TV shows and needed Stefan to be his manager due to his busy schedule. However, Stefan, still hurt, refused. Daniel tried to understand and left. When Stefan entered the house and saw his father, he confided that he and Daniel had gone their separate ways. Without Daniel's help, he believed Daniel would still be more successful than he was now. Although Stefan tried to find reasons, deep down, he was worried about Daniel. Hearing this, his father remained silent. Days later, Daniel was seen filming a TV show with other participants. The concept was a dating drama where they were quarantined in a villa to get to know each other. However, throughout the process, Daniel felt unenthusiastic and uninspired, realizing that fame wasn't his true world. Despite his exhaustion, he couldn't leave due to his contract with the TV station. Suddenly, Stefan appeared, breaking into the filming location and signaling for Daniel to leave. Daniel was surprised but quickly followed Stefan, leaving the chaos of the entertainment world behind. Months passed, and after a successful solo career, Daniel and Stefan opened a cafe with live music. On one night, Daniel invited fans to sing together. The cafe, which had opened just a few weeks ago, had already become a favorite spot for music lovers. Music began to play and Daniel started with a fan-favorite song. His melodious voice echoed throughout the cafe, creating a lively atmosphere. The fans sang along, creating beautiful harmony. After entertaining the fans, Daniel received news that a TV reporter had arrived for an interview. Initially, Daniel and Stefan were hesitant due to past experiences and told the guard to chase the reporter away. However, they eventually changed their minds and allowed the reporter in. During the interview, the reporter asked about the secret to their success. In response, Daniel and Stefan began arguing due to differing opinions, their bickering resurfacing once again. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Amri Film channel so you don't miss the next movie recaps.